Hi, Liam. Guess what? I've got great news. You won't believe it. I'm getting married.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. My boyfriend proposed to me. We want to get registered this year and make everything official.
I'm so happy for you, Emma. Wow, it is big news. Congratulations. I'm really glad that you found someone you love. We should celebrate.
It's hilarious that you think we should celebrate this.
What? I'm confused. What's not to celebrate, though?
I guess you haven't realized what this really means for you yet. You've been a bum at home this whole time doing nothing. Meanwhile, I went out and found myself a whole husband.
Would have not been a bum at home, though. Where did you get?
While you've been lazing around doing nothing, I fell in love and am starting a whole new chapter of my life. I mean, come on, look at you. You're already 28 and you're single. You don't have any job to earn money and still living with our parents. Meanwhile, my future husband is a very successful manager and is super rich. Do you see the difference between us? I hope I tell it out enough for you. Aren't you worried at all about yourself? If I were you, I would be worried.
Where's all this coming from all of a sudden? I don't understand.
You've been wasting your entire life away. It's about time you realized. How much longer are you going to keep living like this? You're such an anti-social. Doing nothing all day long. Don't you feel ashamed?
Wait a second, Emma. I'm seriously confused. Are you accusing me of basically being a freeloader at home? Seriously, where did you get that idea?
Ha, look at you. Getting all mad because I called you out. Face it, it's the truth. I'm trying to give you a reality check. Don't tell me you're going to try and deny the fact that you've been a bum this entire time, right? What are you doing at home all the time? Protecting the house. No, one asked for a security guard.
What? That's not what I've been doing every day at home, though.
Seriously, Liam. Get it together. Just admit it already. It's clear as day. Look at yourself. You're already an adult and you're still living with mom and dad. How much longer are you going to live there for? Honestly, I'm even embarrassed to call you my bother. As an old, should you be setting a good example for me? I know getting fired sucks, but it's been ages since then. You're still going to keep sitting there doing nothing.
That's literally not what I'm doing at home, though. Can you please explain to me how you reached this conclusion? There's definitely been some kind of misunderstanding. Let's talk about this.
I think it's pretty obvious just by looking at you. You should follow my example instead. It's about time you got another job. If I end up having a baby, you know that'll be everyone's main priority, right? That means mom and dad won't have time to take care of you anymore. You need to learn how to be independent.
Fine, I won't debate with you. I will find the answer.
2 hours later.
Hey Mom, can I talk to you for a moment? There's been something on my mind.
Of course. What's wrong?
Just a moment ago, Emma told me that she's getting married.
Oh. Yes, I'm glad she told you. It's wonderful news, isn't it? I'm glad Emma messaged you about it so quickly. We're thrilled for her.
Yeah, I'm also happy for her too. But she said something really weird just now to me that I'm having a hard time understanding.
Something weird? What did she say?
She called me a lazy bum and accused me of doing nothing. She said I needed to stop freeloading off you and Dad and a bunch of other awful things. She thinks really lowly of me.
Oh, she said all that.
It sounds like you know something about this. Can you please explain to me what's going on? All of this is so I can't wrap my head around it. Why does she think that I'm mooching off you too?
I'm really sorry, Liam. There's an explanation for all of this. I didn't know how to bring this up with you for a while. I actually lied to Emma and told her you were living at home with us as a freeloader for now.
Mom, what the heck? You know that I've been employed full-time though. Am temporarily doing remote work right now. Why would you say something like that to her?
Of course, I know that. But there's a reason for it. If I told Emma the truth, don't you think she'd feel bad? I don't want her to feel bad about herself.
Huh? Why would she feel bad about herself though?
Well, you know how things are. Especially with finding work these days. Emma also wants to find remote work. Ideally, she'd like to stay home too and earn in you.
I mean, yeah, remote work is pretty great. I don't have to try and beat rush out all the time. Commuting and getting stuck in traffic sucks. Plus I can take a nap help whenever I want to as long as I finish my work. I agree that it's really nice. I'm grateful to my company for letting me work at home.
Emma's company doesn't want to follow the trend of remote work though. They're pretty strict about keeping their employee at the office. I guess you could say they're a bit behind the times. Even though Emma requested to work remotely, her manager didn't approve it. So she's been pretty upset because of it.
I mean, there are some places that prefer having employees in person though. It's just the company's policy. Nothing you can do about it. Maybe they'll change in the future, who knows? But that may take a while logistically. That sucks for her, though. I get why she'd feel kinda upset by it.
Emma's trying her best to go to work every day. She's getting more and more stressed out by her job though. You've had it much easier staying at home working in the comfort of your pajamas. She's really been having a tough time. Drivers these days are getting crazier and crazier in the mornings. That's why I didn't tell her about your actual job. If she knew how easy you had it, she'd feel even worse about herself. Your sister is sensitive to things like this. Do you understand why I couldn't tell her the truth? But you're literally lying to her and putting me in this awful position. Do you want to see the messages she sent?
She's literally looking down on me right now. How is this fair?
I don't want to hurt Emma's feelings though. When Emma had a chance to visit us last week, I sat her down and explained. She had asked me why you were always at home these days.
You just lied to her.
I didn't really have a choice. It just slipped out like that. It's such a small little lie though. I told her you got fired and are staying at home right now as a freeloader.
But why would you say something like that? Mom. Why? Just tell her the truth instead of making up such a pointless story.
It's not pointless. Liam, don't you understand? You need to think about Emma's feelings. I'm her mother, of course, and I would try to make sure she doesn't feel hurt.
But you're also my mother, too. What is the point of making me feel bad just to make Emma happier?
You've always been hard to handle as a kid. You misbehaved all the time. But in comparison, Emma has always been well behaved, gotten good grades at school, and listened to us.
I mean, yeah, I know it wasn't to handle growing up. I know you guys always thought of Emma as the little angel of the family. But now that we're adults now, things have obviously changed. I'm not the Liam Irati kid anymore.
To think that you got the privilege of working at home before Emma just didn't seem right. That's why I feel so sorry for Emma. You're not allowed to be better than Emma. You've always been second.
So that's how it is, huh? I know you dote on Emma. I grew up always begging second to her. I know she gets priority over everything. And I've struggled to accept that. Now I see why you told her I was a lazy bum mooching off my parents.
I already said sorry earlier, didn't I? So we can move on from this topic now. You're not allowed to tell Emma about this conversation. Do you understand? Just play along with it and pretend you're a freeloader.
Are you serious?
I let you live in my house right now. Have you forgotten that? Do not say a word of this conversation to her. Do you hear me? I will kick you out of my house if you do. Don't test me, Liam.
Over 1 month later.
Hey, Liam. Sorry, but can you get out of the house like right now?
Excuse me?
You spend plenty of time enjoying your time as a freeloader. And I'm sure you have plenty more time on your hands. Can you pack your bags and move everything out in 3 days? That'd be great, thanks.
Hold on, what? Where did this come from? This isn't something you just drop on someone out of nowhere.
That's why I'm telling you now. You are moving after 3 days. 3 days should be enough time, right? You'll be done moving out this weekend. So, yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up. Don't leave anything behind, okay? Thanks.
Wait. What the heck are you talking about? Why am I getting kicked out all of a sudden?
It's hard on the family when everyone. Don't you think it's rude? And plus, what if my fiancé finds out? I don't know how I'd explain it to him. He's coming over next week to meet Mom and Dad. I don't want him to know that my father is a lazy bum. That would be so embarrassing. He finds out and then suddenly doesn't love me anymore because his father-in-law is going to be too big of a burden on him. Besides, Mom and Dad will be moving to my house after I get married and selling our house. Starting next week, you are going to be living alone.
And that's why you think it's a good idea to kick me out before he comes over.
Exactly. I feel like this is the best solution for all of us.
All of you just think about yourselves. Where on earth am I supposed to go?
You figure it out.
I don't know why you're telling me this all of a sudden. But if you don't want me around while he's visiting, I can just go somewhere else, right? I can walk around town instead. He's literally coming over for a few hours at most. If you want me out of the house for the whole day, then just tell me. I'll make plans for the morning until late in the evening.
What are you talking about, Liam? That's not what I mean.
What do you mean, then?
I'm telling you to pack your bags forever. That's what I meant by not leaving anything behind. It's not only the fact that I don't want my fiancé to see you. I don't want him to even know you exist.
Are you serious?
Yes. I want you to get out and never come back. Don't even think about trying to come back again, okay? We don't want to see your face around here.
What are you saying? This is my house, too. I don't understand what I did to hurt you.
We're selling this house and moving into the new house. I think the rest is pretty obvious. We're gonna start a brand new life as a newly married couple together. So don't try to get in our way.
You're taking the entire house for yourself?
Exactly. Now, do you understand finally? I can't live a peaceful life with my husband if you're going to freeload off of us.
What about Mom and Dad?
Well, put up with them for now, but I think there's a retirement home in their near future. You, however, need to get out.
I've had it up to here with your crap already. Why do I have to bend over for you? This is where I live. It's also my home.
Oh, by the way, Mom and Dad approve of us selling the house.
What? Mom and Dad are okay with this?
Mom and Dad are fed up with you. It must be having to take care of their adult son all the time. I was talking to Mom and Dad about me getting pregnant one day. And they'd be happy for me to raise the baby in the house. I'm hoping it's a baby boy. So you see, there are a lot of reasons why I need you to go.
What? I don't understand.
If I have a baby boy, then he can replace you. Mom said she won't need you anymore.
You're joking, right? I'm her son. Are you sure Mom and Dad said stuff like that? You're not just making this up, are you?
I know it's hard to believe, but trust me, that's exactly what they said. Anyways, you get my point. Hurry up and get out of the house, would you? I really don't want to tell my fiancé about you at all. I'd rather keep your existence completely secret from him, so that's why if you move out then that problem is all solved.
All right. I got it. I'll go then. I don't really have much of a choice, it seems.
I'm glad you turned around so fast. It's nice to see you finally understand something.
Let me just confirm something with you real quick. You don't want me showing up at your wedding, right? You know, with me being lazy and useless and all that. Even if I am your bother.
Obviously, duh. I don't want to see you there. My wedding is going to be absolutely gorgeous. We're renting a beautiful wedding hall. It's not a place for someone like you. You'd stink up the whole place. When was the last time you even showered?
I see. Got your message loud and clear.
Do you even know how much money I've spent on my wedding? You wouldn't even be able to comprehend all the cereals that come after it. I've spent well over 60,000 on this wedding. Who in their right mind would invite you?
Oh my God, you spent 60,000.
It's an amount of money that you'll probably never gain in your whole life. Ha! Mom and Dad saved up all this money just for me. Isn't it sweet of them to do that? They've been saving up little by little without me even knowing. It was such a heartwarming surprise.
Wow, that's really sweet of them to do that for you.
Oh, by the way, they don't have anything saved up for you. Oops, sorry. I guess I took it all, It's not like you provided any value around the house anyways. If I were them, I wouldn't spend my savings on you either. Plus, I just don't see you ever getting married, never mind finding a girlfriend. You should probably find a job first before you even think about dating. No girl would want to date a loser like you, haha.
Well done, you really got me there.
Ha, look at you. Taking all of this like a pathetic loser. I'm not going to introduce you to my fiancé or invite you to the wedding. Kinda makes the whole point of you being a family member useless. You're such a burden on the family. It's so exhausting dealing with you. Do us a favor and get out of our faces, would you?
No problem. I'll go ahead and take it back the money I paid as well then.
What? What money?
Don't worry, I won't help you at all with the 60,000. You guys can figure it out yourselves, right? After all, you're all hardworking adults with well-paying jobs. I'll call right now and tell them to cancel the transaction.
Cancel? What are you talking about? What kind of transaction are you talking about? Your wedding fees, obviously. Duh. I already told you Mom and Dad are paying for everything. It doesn't have anything to do with you. I don't need your help anyways. You don't even have a job. You have no income.
Oh yeah, I guess Mom and Dad didn't tell you the part where they literally begged me to pay for it. That whole story must have slipped their minds. It's okay, it happens to the best of us.
They begged. You're obviously just making this all up.
I mean, you're not worried about Mom and Dad technically paying for the wedding. The money is sort in their hands. But where do you think all that money came from? All amounts of money came from me or lazy, good-for-nothing bother.
You don't have that kind of...
It was also sudden when Mom came to me and asked me to give her that much money. I thought someone had an accident or something. But she said it was all for you and she needed the money straight away. She didn't tell me any of the details at the time, though. But since you told me that your wedding happened to cost 60,000, I was able to put the pieces together.
What are you saying?
I just finished putting in all the transfer details right before you texted me actually. But it's okay, the transfer hasn't gone through yet, so we'll go ahead and press the cancels button. Man, I've never been so glad the bank delays money transfers for a few days. Saved my bacon for real there.
Wait for a second. I don't get it at all. What are you trying to say? Do you have money or something?
I thought I made it pretty clear, didn't I?
What do you mean you made it? Why on earth would Mom and Dad beg you out of all people for money? You have no job. You have no money. You sit around the house doing nothing all day. I've never even seen you going out. You're in your pajamas staring at your computer all day long. Where did you get such a massive amount of money?
If you're really interested, you should probably ask Mom. She's got the whole story. I'm sure she'll stop hiding the truth by now. There's nothing else she can do.
What truth? What is she hiding?
Looks like my cancel request went through. I'm gonna be pretty busy packing up my bags and everything, so I won't be able to respond much. See you later.
More moments later.
Liam. You have some explaining to do, young man. What did you tell your sister? And why did you cancel the transfer? I thought we had a deal.
I never said that I agree with your deal, Mom. You really have some explaining to do. You set this whole thing up to try and kick me out of the house, didn't you?
I can explain.
Do you really have the guts to kick me out after everything I've done for this family? I've been supporting you to this entire time by myself after you and Dad got laid off.
I know, but...
You know that I've bent over backward trying to help you guys out, right? How hard I work to the corporate ladder. I've been working full-time remotely while taking care of the household chores, too. You see that with your own eyes, don't you? How I do everything in my power just to help out my family. Do you understand, family, if I left? Do you realize that I'm the only reason you have a roof over your head? Without me, we would have been homeless ages ago. We would have been sleeping on the streets already.
Of course. I'm thankful for your support. Thanks to you, we're almost done paying back the loan on the house. And I know you pay for a lot of living expenses, too.
It's not just that either. How many times do you think I've stopped you and Dad from fighting after you guys got laid off? How many hours do you think I've spent trying to be the mediator between you two?
Well,
I always gave you two money whenever you thought about not having any money. If you needed something, I was always there to support you guys. I always took extra time out of my day to take care of the chores just so you two would be able to get out and have some fun. Do you understand how much I've worked for this family? Do you even realize the amount of sacrifice I had to make just to make all of you happy? Because I actually care about my family. Because I'm not selfish.
I'm sorry, Liam. I'm really sorry. Of course. We're grateful for everything you've done.
You're grateful? Don't make me laugh. If you're really grateful, then why are you kicking me out of the house?
It's a different topic. You know how things are, sometimes things like this happen.
In the end, you choose Emma over me. No matter what I do, it'll never be good enough for you. It doesn't matter anymore, though. You've already shown me your true colors. Have fun living with Emma and her husband. But of course, I'm not just going to be packing up my bags and leaving. I'll also be cutting ties with all of you.
What? You can't do that.
Do you think I want to be part anymore? After all the help I've given, this is what I get in return. You won't be receiving any help from me anymore. You can depend on Emma and her husband from now. I'm sure they can support to others, including themselves.
Wait.
3 hours later.
Liam. We need to talk. Mom and Dad told me everything. You really are working a full-time job. Wow, that's pretty awesome. You make double what I make in a year too. I'm really proud of you.
It's pretty obvious what you're getting at by changing your tone all of a sudden.
I don't have any ulterior motives, though. I just wanted to apologize for all the misunderstandings. I'm sorry I got all swept up in Mom's lies. That was pretty dumb of me.
Doesn't really matter anymore to me. All right, heading out now. Bye.
Wait, Liam. Don't go so soon. I still want to talk to you a bit more. Can you listen to me? I want you to be there when my fiancé comes over to meet Mom and Dad. Can you stay this weekend?
Talking about?
I didn't want to introduce you to my fiancé because I thought you were a freeloader. But you're actually working really hard. That's why I want you to meet him.
No, it's okay. You don't have to do all that.
Don't be all shy. Come over. It'll be fun. And of course, I'd love for you to attend the wedding as well. So I was wondering if you'd be willing to help us out again with the wedding fees. It's hard for me to suddenly go from 60,000 to zero.
I knew you only messaged me for money.
Please, Liam. I really, really need this. Let's start over again, okay? I want to make a blank slate for us. You're the only son of the family, so you're a very important person to us. No one else can replace you and the value you've provided for us, so you don't have to move out anymore either. Please consider helping me pay for the wedding.
I'm not interested in starting over. You should probably tell your fiancé everything. I'm not just cutting off ties with Mom and Dad. You're included too?
What? You're cutting off ties with me.
You should probably also tell your fiancé to not bother coming over to visit Mom and Dad. The wedding's getting called off and probably your marriage. It's such a shame it ended up being this way. You could have had a great wedding.
What are you saying? Why are you saying the marriage is getting called off too? I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh yeah, sorry it slipped my mind. Forgot to mention this. Actually, I bumped into your fiancé the other day, you know?
How did you can?
That's actually how I found out about me. Poor guy never knew I existed. But good for me that I remembered what he looked like from the photos you posted online. He deserved to know what he was getting into, so I told him everything. From the way you guys treated me to the wedding fees. You should have seen the look on his face. At the end of our conversation, he told me he was calling off everything.
What are you talking about? How on earth did you just happen to bump into him? Where did you meet him?
At the bank actually, right before you messaged me.
What?
Yeah, I had to stop by the bank to cancel the money transfer. The bank called me in to confirm my identity. They thought it might have been some kind of scam. Who transfers such a large sum of money and then cancels it after like 2 hours? They even took me into a different room to talk about this. Just have alerted their computer systems. After I explained the whole, guy asked me if I happened to be your brother.
What? Why would he?
You never told me your fiancé is a manager at the bank. What a funny coincidence, honestly. The person that I ended up explaining the whole transfer cancellation thing to turned out to be none other than your precious fiancé. Honestly, both of our jaws dropped to the floor. I can't even make up this stuff.
How is that even possible?
I know, right? When I was explaining the whole thing, I was kind of complaining a lot too. I didn't mean to vent about my issues with some random guy at the bank, but man, I was mad. But he put 2 and 2 together and realized who and what I was talking about. When he pulled up my account on his computer and looked at my last name. Oh man, that was crazy.
No, you're definitely lying. That can't be right. I mean, I know he does work at a close to your house. But this is way too much of a coincidence.
Honestly, I'm in the O-tone boat as you hear. I didn't expect it either. It's too bad for you too. Your fiancé seemed like a pretty nice guy. He works so quickly and efficiently too. I hope he gets a raise soon because he sure deserves it.
Oh my God. What should I do? He suddenly texted me. He says he wants to call off the wedding.
What about wanting to move him into the house to replace me? You should probably tell him. He listened patiently to me when I complained about being replaced, but his face was hard as stone. What? We're going to be living with her parents. But I haven't even met them yet. She never even mentioned this. She wants me to go now?
I was gonna tell him that on my own time later. Right time to explain.
Oh, really? Sorry, I jumped the gun then. He's really confused and taken aback by how quickly you want things. Especially knowing that you are doing this mostly to try and replace me as the son.
What?
I told him to take care of our families since he'll be gone. I explained to him all the living expenses and demands that he needs to meet to satisfy Mom and Dad. Also talked about the chores too, exactly the way that Mom likes for me to be done. After all, he's going to be my successor, right? He's gonna know everything.
Why would you say all that?
He seemed pretty worried. He wanted to know what was going to happen to him if he didn't agree to go along with everything. He said it sounded like you were trying to turn him into some kind of family butler or something. He was really disgusted and disappointed with how you guys have been treated. He couldn't believe how any parent could make their child do everything and be treated like a slaver.
No. This is all a lie. There must have been some kind of misunderstanding. That's not the truth. What are you gonna do about this mess now?
Why should I care? I'm the one who's disowning all of you. You are going to be talking about this soon, right? Just tell him everything yourself.
I can't. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. He thinks I'm an awful person. This is such a huge misunderstanding. How am I supposed to get married at this rate? Mom and Dad are both unemployed still.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll think of something. You're all grown up now. Anyways, I'm blocking you guys now. We won't see each other ever again.
Wait, Liam. Are you serious about leaving forever? Please don't cut off all ties with us.
Hope you'll be able to handle taking care of Mom and Dad.
Just then.
After Emma had a conversation with her fiancé, they decided to end their engagement. Emma fought hard to win her fiancé back, explaining how she was deceived by her parents into believing negative things about her brother. However, her fiancé responded by criticizing her behavior, saying that she also looked down on him and never made an effort to understand him. He made it clear that he couldn't spend his life with someone who disrespected their own family. As expected, the family struggled to cope without me. Once I left, my parents relied entirely on Emma for financial support. Unfortunately, her income was much lower than they had anticipated. As a result, my parents had to take on part-time jobs and temporary work to pay their bills.